Hey guys, it's Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I have a declutter for you. So I do these every couple months. I used to lay out everything I own and kind of walk you through and talk about whether or not I was going to keep or get rid of each product. Now that my collection's a little bit smaller, it doesn't really make sense to do that, so instead I'm just going to kind of show you the things that I've decided to get rid of, whether it's because they're too old and they just need to go in the trash, or their products just didn't work for me. Some of these things that are really gently used I'm going to be donating to a nonprofit called Project Beauty Share, which kind of sanitizes gently used or unused makeup and gets it to people who need it. Some of these things will be going there, other things I'll be giving to friends and family, and other things I'm just going to put in the trash because they're old or they're just bad products. So a couple of kind of foundation type products I'm getting rid of. First one is this Terre Fluid Foundation in the shade Natural. I have tried and tried to make this work for me. The shade is a little bit too dark, so that's one problem. The other problem is that I just really don't like this foundation. It doesn't, I don't know if it's just my skin that doesn't agree with it, but it just doesn't blend well. It looks patchy on me. I really wanted to like this. It's a $69 foundation. I didn't pay full price for it. I got it on Haute for around like $18, but I really tried to like this and it's not working for me, so I don't see the point in suffering over it. The other kind of foundation product, I did a review on this. It's the Andalou Naturals 1000 Roses CC Cream in the shade Sheer Nude. Really wanted to like this as well. I liked a lot of things about it, but the shade just does not work for me. This particular CC cream only comes in 2 shades, which I find pretty ridiculous. And this one I thought would work for me, but it oxidizes really badly and I look like an Oompa Loompa when I wear it. I've tried to make it work. I thought I was going to be able to power through it and use it up, but I'd rather pass it on to someone else who might enjoy it more. Maybe it'll work for someone with a slightly deeper skin tone. So I'm not going to mess with this anymore. Next product is a powder. This is the Jane Iredale Powder Me SPF. I originally bought this as like a scalp sunscreen. I know that sounds really weird, but my head gets sunburned really easily, and so I wanted to do something about it. And so I tried this. This says that you can use it for that or on your face. I tried it on my head and it just made my hair kind of icky and greasy, even though it's a powder. So I didn't like it for that. I've also tried it on my face and I just don't like it as a setting powder. It doesn't really like glide across the skin smoothly. It's just not something I've been reaching for. It was kind of pricey, so I'm hoping someone else will be able to use this. It's kind of a nifty idea, but also powder is not a great formula for sunscreen to be in. I've heard that it's not really as effective in the form of a powder, so it's not something I really want to continue trying to use because I have other powders that I like better, and I wear SPF in other forms every day, so it's just not necessary for me to have. Another thing is a brush from Terre. I did a whole brand review on Terre if you're interested. They're kind of an under-the-radar brand, so I wanted to talk about them because no one really talks about that brand that much. This is one of their oval brushes, and it's an okay brush. I just didn't really care for it. The bristles kind of shed, and the handle just doesn't feel very well made, and I didn't really like the way it blended in my foundation. I have other foundation brushes that I like better, so hopefully someone else can enjoy this, but it's just not for me. I'm also getting rid of 3 eyeshadow palettes. The first one is this original Wet n Wild Comfort Zone eyeshadow palette. I don't think that this is going to be available much longer, if it even still is, because they recently came out with a whole new line of eyeshadow palettes and they reformulated the Comfort Zone palette. So I have never been a huge fan of this palette. There are things about it that I like. I like certain shades. Wet n Wild has always had pretty good quality eyeshadows. A couple of these shades I really hate though. The ones I don't like are this kind of dark green crease shade and then the definer, the like burgundy brown definer shade. Those just turn out looking black. Like they don't even look the way they look in the pan on the eyes. So that's right there, that's 1/4 of the palette that I don't really like. The other shades are okay. I like this kind of bluish brown duochrome shade here. That's a really cool color. The other shades are okay, but I have other palettes that I like better, and I just don't find myself reaching for this. And I haven't even gotten a whole lot of use out of it. I've gone through phases where I really liked it, but overall it's just not my favorite, so I don't want to hold on to it. Plus, if it's not going to be available anymore, there's not really a whole lot of purpose in me keeping it and talking about it in videos if, you know, this palette isn't really relevant anymore. So another Wet n Wild palette. This one I got at Dollar Tree a while ago. It's just a nice kind of neutral palette. and I like it. I mean, the quality on this one is a little hit or miss. Some of the shades are kind of flaky, not super pigmented. Other ones are really nice, but I kind of realized that every shade that I have in here that I like, I also have elsewhere in my collection. So there's really not a whole lot of a reason to keep this, because it's just kind of hit or miss, and I have other things I like better. And again, this isn't available anymore, so I can't really talk about it on my channel anyway, because you guys wouldn't be able to purchase it. And then the last eyeshadow palette I decided to declutter is this Physicians Formula Matte Quad and Quartz Quartet. A lot of Qs. I have really liked this palette for a while. Really nice buttery matte shadows. I have hit pan on this kind of light brown rosy color and also the cream color over here. The other two shades I really don't like very much. There's kind of this weird blue tone gray that I don't have a purpose for. I don't use that kind of color. And then the charcoal gray is nice, but I don't get excited when I look at this palette. I'm also pretty sure it's discontinued now, so again, it's not really relevant to talk about on my channel anymore. And I feel like I've gotten enough use out of the two shades that I really like that I'm ready to kind of say goodbye to it. I have those two shades elsewhere in my collection as well, so there's really no point in hanging on to this, because it's just old and I'm just not excited by it anymore. Last thing I'm getting rid of is a lipstick. This is the Flower Beauty Lip Butter in the shade Haute Honeysuckle. This is something that I liked for a while. Again, I think this is discontinued. I've had it for so long, I think it's kind of gone bad. I've noticed that when I wear it, it has kind of a sunscreeny scent and flavor to it, which I don't really care for, and that doesn't make sense because there's no SPF in this, so that bothers me. I just think it's old. Also, the lid pops off really easily, so it's not something I could travel with, and I kind of realized I don't really like the way it looks on my lips either, so a lot of reasons to get rid of this. I'm just going to toss this one because it's so old. I really hate doing that because it feels wasteful to me, but in the future I'm just going to be a little bit more mindful of my purchases and not purchase things that I'm not going to end up using, you know. Those are all the things I've decided to declutter this time around. Decluttering is kind of hard for me because it does feel a little bit wasteful. If I purchase something with my money, I want to get my money's worth, but at the same time, if it's a product I don't like, I feel like it's kind of counterproductive to use it if I'm not enjoying using it, right? Because the whole point of makeup is to have fun and enjoy it. So that's why I chose to declutter these things. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!